Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's video, we're reviewing the BMW 540i. Before we get in this video, I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the BMW Pleasant Grove, Utah for giving me some time with this 5 Series. I'll include a link to the website in the description down below. If you have any questions, need any help, just ask for Joe. And then on a side note, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Under the hood, we have a turbocharged 3-liter inline-6 that goes through an 8-speed automatic transmission. Fuel economy is 26 around town and then 33 on the highway, with power outputs being 335 horsepower and then 331 pound-feet of torque. Before I move forward with this review, I do want to mention if you want to see more videos just like this, then I recommend you subscribe because I post content every single day. So starting with the hood, you guys can see really sharp with the lines now. They've kind of made it boxier, I suppose, with the design. Something with the headlights. It's interesting with that new kind of look there. Still have the kidney grille here. You see parking sensors there. And then with this one, everything's blacked out, so it has a very uniform appearance. Now around the side here, our steering wheel setup is 245/40/20 in the front, and then 275/35/20 in the rear. Now with the wheels, you got the silver there on the top, blacked out there in the center, and then we have the red brake caliper, which is a nice contrast element because the rest of this car, that's just factory wrapping or transport wrapping. But anyways, the rest of this car, as you can see, is all blacked out, so it helps out. Taking a look at the key fob, we have our remote start function built into the lock function. I like the colors. And then we have our unlock and then the opening for the trunk as well. Popping into the rear, you can see we've got the latches there to throw down the seats. Plenty of storage space in the back as well. It's one of the nice things about the 5 Series. But what's really nice is you can just press a button and boom, lowers down for you. The new taillight design is pretty interesting. You get that low profile spoiler. And then again, it's just kind of uniform with everything being blacked out for the most part outside of the badges. Now taking a look at the door panel, soft touch here at the top and down below, and you get this cool blue stitching that goes across. I like that with the handle. And then you can see for the sound system, Bowers & Wilkins, by the way. And look at these seats with the blue stitching, perforated all down the center. And then legroom back here is solid. We got some vents here, USB ports as well, a little bit more storage on top of that. And then headroom. Now taking a look at the front door panel, again soft touch, and down below with more of that blue stitching. This is pretty cool, the trim piece that goes across. Got your memory seat function, see the door lock and unlock, and then blind spot monitoring with the mirrors as well. And then you got all of our window controls and all of that. And then with the front seats, it still has the factory covering, but it's got kind of an interesting trim there. It's like Alcantara on the top portion, but then it's got blue there in the perforations. It's very interesting, but then it's leather down below, so it's kind of like mixed with the material use. And then you guys can see we actually have the pedal cover. That's kind of a cool thing to have. And then we've got our little thing for the vent and the light controls here as well. Taking a look at the steering wheel, you can see soft touch all around, like the little marker there at the top. Paddle shifters here on the back, and then you got a bunch of practical controls on the front, including like cruise control. And then we've got our regular stocks here on the back. Steering wheel is interesting. And then full digital gauge cluster here. I think that's kind of like a fun little thing. And when you change the modes, like the sport mode, it does kind of change how the gauge cluster looks. And the sport mode actually tighten the bolsters too. Yeah, it's cool how the gauge cluster changes with the different modes. 360 camera system with this. Trajectory lines turn with the steering wheel. And yeah, overall, I mean, that's solid resolution, so great little system. And then as for the rest of the infotainment system itself, easy to use, quick response time. Yes, the climate controls are built into the screen, but they're always accessible there at the bottom. So I think that makes it a little bit more user-friendly. We do have a heads-up display there. And then you've got nice trim on the dash. And this is cool, kind of like with the crystal appearance. BMW's doing that in a lot of their modern cars, it looks like now. And then you got this for the vents again, just slide it over to close it. Storage area down below. Got some more cup holders here. And then we have our center area. So kind of physical controls in a way. It's like on this haptic feedback pad for the controls themselves. So it's a little bit different in terms of using it. And you have this for the shifter, which is also very interesting. Center console, it's got good storage. I like the trim here on the top. I think that's nice. And then we do have a glove box button just there on the side. But yeah, nice trim on the outside, good storage. And then we do have a sunroof up top. So here's our window sticker for this 540i. Total MSRP $77,895. And let's see how it drives. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's your visibility of the hood and hopefully the heads-up display. Both the mirrors do have blind spot removing. Got the rest of the rear. And let us set off in the 540i. A little M logo on the steering wheel. BMW just sprinkling those M logos on every single car they can. It's kind of funny. So 5 Series is an interesting car because it's not quite full-on luxury like a 7 Series, but it's, you know, not quite full-on sport like a 3 Series. It's an in-between car for people that want some luxury and some sport. So it's definitely an interesting setup. We'll see what the power's like. Way better than the 4-cylinder. I drove a 530i. Yeah, and this actually has some, like, you can feel it's got good torque. It's got some oomph to it. Whereas that 530, it's not the worst, but 4 cylinders not enough in this car. Not enough with a car this size. Camera system's nice. Helps out with visibility quite a bit. I actually want to see what it does over this little bump here with the suspension. Damping's good. Yeah, the transmission's super quick and engine response and all of that is solid as well. It's a comfortable car. Again, it's that in between. It's not quite as comfortable as a 7 Series, but it's more comfortable than a 3 Series. Steering's, it's interesting how light the steering is in this new 5 Series. I want to kind of go around here quickly again and see. It's very interesting. Yeah. Huh. Something you just have to drive the car to feel, but it's super light. Then, yeah, I think it almost feels like disconnected in a way. It's very strange. Very, very strange. So, setting things up. I think the 5 Series looks, it's interesting. It's interesting with the new looks. I think that it drives well, it's comfortable, and again, it's that in between. It's like, okay, I want, you know, a little bit more luxury, like I said, a little bit more luxury than the 3 Series, but you don't want something that's quite as big as a 7 Series because you just still want some sportier driving dynamics, and maybe you just don't need the space that the 7 Series provides. So let me know what you guys think about the 5 Series, but I think that if you're going to get a 5 Series, probably at least jump up to this powertrain, the 540i, because the 530 is just a little bit underpowered for the size of the car.